You guys are listening to the Sistership pod with Corriday
and Dammy.
Yeah, like, girl,
we are back.
We are back. Praise the Lord. After a few hiccups,
guys, we're gonna come clean. This episode,
we have to come clean.
This episode was supposed to come out last week,
but we've recorded it twice. So this is episode 2.3. Yeah, no, 2.4. No, it's 2.3.
2.3.
Rate us. It's not 2.4. We did not try this 3 times already. We've tried it twice, and this is our third try. Third time lucky.
Third time lucky. This is going up.
This has to.
However it looks. Y'all gonna take it like that?
If it doesn't go up, we might as well just deactivate everything and say, do you know what? We had a go. We tried our best, but that's it. No, we will post
this. Is going up, guys.
And do you know what? Thanks so much for the first episode's like reception.
Yeah, guys.
My goodness.
It's been overwhelming, but like positively overwhelming.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't expect it to go off that
the way
much.
that it did. Yeah, no.
Appreciate the people that have actually listened to the pods
and given us
and
feedback.
People that are sharing, getting us out there, because we actually don't really know where this is gonna go, but we're loving it. Well, obviously, we hope that it goes to who it needs to go to. Goes to who it needs to go. Okay, yeah, the English was correct. Sorry.
Yeah, you got that.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Like I'm at a loss for words. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but I just thought it was so important for us to appreciate and start the episode with that. What's been going on though? Like,
how's your week been?
My week? I've been at uni. I haven't really been up to much other than studying. Obviously, I've been.
There's going to uni like how I go to uni, and then there's going to uni like how you go to uni.
Like I'm literally at uni 9 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday. Today I started my first placement of 3. And do you know what? Like being in that placement, it confirmed things to me. I was at something similar yesterday as a part of my course, but today's like the first form of placement. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, like I feel like I'm in the right place. So the end of the week has been very positive.
That's good. It gives you a bit more reassurance as to why you're doing what you're doing.
I'm feeling so reassured. Like that's the perfect word. I had the last 4 weeks I've been on campus only. I've not been in placement. So it's been a lot of learning and a lot of sitting in sessions and listening and writing things down and not really putting things into practice, but seeing what happened today. I just thought, yeah, like this makes sense. Like I can do what I'm observing, because the first week is observations and stuff and making notes. I can do what I'm observing in a year's time and confidently do so. So I am
definitely
feeling.
You have enough experience.
I'm feeling good. But yeah, what about you?
I've been in Kent, guys. I actually was in Kent for the whole week this week. Glory to God. It's placement. What can I say? I'm actually enjoying the block that I'm on. I'm on women's health currently, so that's like obs and gynae stuff.
Okay.
It's a specialty that I really enjoy, so it's been good in that sense. The only issue that I have with this degree right now is that it's forcing me to become a morning person again, and I can't lie. Ever since secondary school was over and sixth form was done, it's not been first year. I was a morning person because I used to go to work, then I'll go to uni
after first.
Yeah, so I started at 7:30. Depending on the days that I had free time, obviously. Before you guys think I wasn't a serious student, I actually was studying and then going to work on the days that I wasn't studying.
Yeah.
So that's like 4 years ago now, maybe 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I was a morning person, maybe because it wasn't by choice. I had no choice. I had to just get up and do it. But now where it's like, if I want to go to afternoon clinic, I can go. I don't necessarily, it's like, it's mandatory, but it's not mandatory.
Right.
Like the uni's too big for them to run you down.
Fair. So
that's one thing I'm really struggling with right now.
A morning routine.
Fine. But other than that, my week's been all right.
The other thing that I was going to ask you, it was kind of to do with your week as well, to be fair. So I guess we can start there. But whether there was something that you did this week that you want to admit
that I shouldn't have done.
That was impulsive.
Yeah.
Something that you did that you probably shouldn't
There's
have.
always something I do that I shouldn't do.
Because I feel like, let's be open and honest. Let's talk about it.
So Monday, so the way medicine works at King's, you have an educational supervisor, so she's a consultant in obs and gynae because it's the first block. So whoever's your supervisor on your first block, they'll be your supervisor until you graduate. So I had clinic with her at 9 a.m. Clinic starts at 9 a.m. and I'd gotten up. I said, this week I want it to be perfect. I want to wake up early every day, get myself together, do my prayers, do my affirmations, shower, eat breakfast, good to go. Yeah, so I did it. I woke up early, had a shower, did my prayers, did what I needed to do. I actually hadn't eaten breakfast at this point. I had time to eat breakfast. So I got ready and then I was about to start putting on my clothes. And I thought, the bed is right there. Like, I've got so much time on my hands. I said, let me have a cheeky nap, guys.
Error 404.
Guys, I'm supposed to leave at like 8:30 to get there. No, I'm supposed to leave at 8:15 if I want to get there for 8:45 and take my time to walk up to clinic and join the huddle. Guys, I woke up at 8:17. I was ready by 7:45. I said, let me have a nap until 8 a.m. 8 o'clock.
And you overslept by 17 minutes.
I overslept by 17 minutes. Then it still took me a few minutes to rejig myself.
So you needed to defrost.
I had to get myself together. Then it was like 8:20 by the time I now jumped out of bed. I started rushing to put on my clothes.
Dammy.
I got to placement at 9:10. And like by the time I got to her clinic, she was already seeing a patient. And my induction, she did not a trust induction. She did an induction for the block, and I was late to that as well.
Not a great look.
So guys, that's one of my
impulsive decisions of the week.
Yeah, I love sleeping, man. Who doesn't love sleeping?
Who doesn't love sleeping? Do you know what? Me too. Like, I love a good nap.
But I feel like you're good though. You wake up and you stay awake.
I set bare alarms. Like, I don't play about that.
So do I.
I mean, don't.
I have 4 alarms to wake up. I have 4 alarms.
So you didn't set one for 8 o'clock?
I set one. I didn't set more. No. So I set one, and then I was snoozing it. That is the biggest mistake you can make. And each of those alarms needs to be a different sound. You know how on Apple. So because I feel like I can drown out the noise at a particular Apple alarm. I can drown it out. Guys. So I've got the one that goes bah, bah, you know, the old school alarm. I've got that one as well. So I know that when I hear that, I have to sit up. Get up. I have ASAP. To. I think another tip is obviously, I used to do this when I was in school, have an alarm clock, an actual alarm clock that you have to get up and turn it off physically. Yeah, I agree. You have to do that because if it's on your bed, you just put it under the pillow and snooze. Because I am a snooze queen. When I actually wanted to be serious, I used to like put my phone somewhere where you have to get up. That's it. If the alarm comes, I have to get out of bed to turn it off. But even still, I'm stubborn when it comes to sleep. If I want to sleep, I'm going to sleep. You love it. Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to sleep. That's you acting on impulse. Fine. I feel like I haven't admitted this to anybody yet. Those of you that are in my close friends would have seen that this week I posted a screenshot of something, a top. Maybe you guys didn't see it. I'm even glad you didn't see it because I will not be admitting how much it was. Top from where? Vivian Westwood. Oh yeah, I saw that. Okay, you bought it? Yeah, okay. I did. Anyways, good luck to you. Best of luck to me. At least me, my issue is sleeping. Sorry, I just knocked the microphone. I bought that. Yeah, I did. So now you have to return it because you're telling the whole world. No, I don't think so. Do you know why? Because I bought it from Essence, and that's a choice. Like if you buy things from Essence, you pay £17 for shipping, and you have to pay for the return back to Montreal. So I won't be paying for the return back to Montreal. But that was an impulsive decision, like an impulsive shopping choice that made me feel amazing in the moment. And I still feel amazing now because it got delivered. And do you know what even happened with the delivery? I was on placements when DHL got to my door and he called me because I didn't get to tell him to put it in a safe place because I knew no one was going to be home. I didn't get to tell him. He called me and I was like, this was at the end of my day. Calls me and he's like, oh no, you need to put in a system. I get a text from DHL. I do it then I call him back and I'm like, hi, I updated the system. He was like, oh, you're really lucky. I'm nearby. I'll just drop it by now. I said, otherwise I would have dropped it on Monday and I would have had to wait all weekend thinking about my choice. And do you know what? I just thought, thank God he delivered it because now I can see it and I'm actually really happy. But I just feel like that was a decision on impulse. Like I saw I had 15% off Essence. I decided to buy it. Not good.
Not great. And I'm trying to work on it. But at the same time, I didn't work hard enough. So that is what I came to admit today on the podcast. Acting on impulse, we got to work on that. How do we work on it though? Because I feel like there's so many things that we do that are like responses to what we feel we need in a moment. I just feel like I can take a nap. I just feel like I want to eat this. I just feel like I might as well just sit down and watch one more episode. I might sit down and
self-serving, isn't it?
Where it's very self-serving. It's very self-serving. It's not forward thinking. And I feel like I liked what you were saying in the last episode where you were talking about how it's so important to consider what you want future you to look like. Do you making those decisions that are self-serving?
No, you don't consider future you.
You don't consider future you. So, okay.
Well, guys, that's me thinking in the present. I mean, it's good
Stop that, because you know what I mean by thinking in the present. Don't try and twist it, because last time I didn't mean that. That's not what I meant by being presently minded. I feel like
I'm acting on what my mind wants presently.
And how do we get to that stage where we are constantly considering tomorrow, constantly considering
and being
future
disciplined?
us?
That's the only way you can get there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Being disciplined.
I remember, so I found a tweet from 2021.
What was she doing looking in 2021 Twitter?
I don't even know. No, it actually came up on my Snapchat, like memories.
Okay, fair.
I think I tweeted it, then I shared it to my...
Yeah, because you really meant it. It's
really
Dami's
meant
own
it.
tweet, by the way. It's not around... I will put the tweet here. It will appear.
So the tweet was, discipline is the answer to all my problems. Something like that, innit?
Yeah, and discipline is the answer to all my issues.
Yeah.
Same diff, yeah.
Yeah. 2 years on, we are still fighting that battle.
Don't be too hard on yourself though. I feel
we
like
are still fighting that battle.
It's one of those things that is a constant journey.
Yeah.
It's a constant battle. You constantly have to remind yourself of what your goals are or what you're after, especially in those moments when you feel like I just want to do this because it's going to make me feel great right now. It is the answer to a lot of people's problems.
I think that's the only answer.
The only resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all encompassing.
Because everything else feeds off of it, don't you think?
Yeah, leading a disciplined life. I feel like it's obviously discipline in so many different areas. So like for me, it would have been financial discipline. For you, it would have been what type of discipline?
Getting to work discipline.
Like it would have been a discipline in your routine, a discipline in making sure that
having a routine
in your day-to-day is like the same and you are sticking to...
It's productive.
Yeah, being productive. And being productive, I guess, is like a byproduct of leading a disciplined life, innit? So, yeah. Two of us could have definitely implemented that a little bit better this week or tried harder, rather.
Yeah, do better.
I just feel... Do better.
Do better.
Do better. We really...
better.
I feel like that's the motto of the week. We need to think about... Damn. Do you know what's crazy? Guys, you won't hear this episode. You won't. It was a draft. We might circle back to the topic. But I do feel like I was under the impression when we spoke about this before, and I had to go and do some soul searching, that acts of self-love are also...
You being disciplined.
No. Like, I've had to do some soul searching, and my conclusion is that what I thought were acts of self-love... are actually me just being indisciplined.
Impulsive.
And being impulsive.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like I said, there's reacting to how you feel in a moment. And if you are really in a state of needing rest. But don't just sleep for sleeping's sake or because you feel a little bit tired.
I'm laughing. No one knows why I'm laughing.
No, I'm sure some people know why she's laughing. I have a tendency to be like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm mad tired, I'm just not gonna do it. Or I'm mad hungry, I'm just gonna get something to eat. Do you get it? Like,
yeah, but we're all like that at times.
I feel like we are all like that. But I feel like the two are not the same. They really aren't. They're not synonymous. I feel like they are very separate. And it's a fine line though. It's a very fine line. But I do need to do better. I feel like there is a
fine line. And I think it's understanding that there's a time and place for everything. Like when I'm growing up, that's one thing my mum always used to say to me.
Yeah,
like,
there's a time and place.
There's a time where you'll be able to do this. There's a time you'll be able to do that. But for now, this is what you need to focus on.
Yeah.
And it's still true.
I feel like, have you got any memories that, obviously you're speaking about what your mum used to say, any memories of like, or early memories of leading a disciplined life? Like what would you say your earliest memory is of that, obviously it's probably come from home, because you've already said your mum is that person that would instill that there's a time and place type of thing. But do you have any examples like of when you were
younger? Cleaning.
Okay.
So we used to clean like regimentally.
Right. You had
every
your
Saturday.
Chores. Yeah.
That was day to clean. I think a lot of people's days to clean is Sundays.
Saturday, Sunday, yeah. Saturday, definitely the weekend though.
I used to go to church on Sunday, so I wasn't cleaning on Sunday. But Saturdays, everybody, you had a job and you had to get it done. There would be consequences if you didn't get what you needed to get done. But I think that's my earliest memory. And other than that, it's school. Yeah, I was always really good at school though. So when I got to maybe like 6, 7, I used to wake up on time.
To sort yourself
I wasn't the child that you would have to like beg to get ready to go. But maybe that's because I enjoyed it. So I would say cleaning is the first one.
Oh, that's a point though. That's a point. Let's unpack that. I feel like it's easier to be disciplined when it's not something that you
have to do.
Like you don't feel bad about doing it. If you don't enjoy doing it, or it's something that doesn't make you feel great, it's so much harder to be a disciplined person or to take that thing seriously. And that's like why you said, school was the thing where it's like you enjoyed it, so it wasn't hard for you to wake up to school. It wasn't hard for you to get yourself ready. I barely missed a day of school, guys. I think I had like close to 100% by the time I got to year 6. Even when I was sick, I was still going. That's how much I loved it. Putting other children
I was a nerd.
Putting other children at risk.
Even secondary school, I loved it. I hated missing days of secondary school.
Yeah.
Seriously hated it. The next, I'll say that's the earliest, and the most recent time is the year that I retook.
Okay.
My A levels.
Yeah. You had no choice but to.
Yeah, but that year was smooth though. I loved it. Now that I actually think back to it, I don't know. Maybe it's because I had a goal at the end, and I knew that this is what I'm working towards. Yeah. So
goal setting is so important when it.
But even then, it still was like it was still me being disciplined, because it wasn't every day that I wanted to study. Yeah. But I made time for it every day. Like
you made time for it, but the point was that you had something that you were working towards.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like you had to take time to realize that before it was like, even though I don't feel like it, I'm still gonna. So
when the reason why I even retook was because I had missed the initial goal. I didn't get into medicine the first time. So
then you had to be even more driven or even
so
more
it was like, oh yeah,
focused.
I don't want to do this anymore. The discipline went out of the window. Because the discipline should have stayed. If it had stayed, then I probably wouldn't have needed to retake the year. Right. I would have just reapplied. But this time I retook the year and I reapplied.
Right.
So if discipline was there, I would have obviously taken a year out and probably maybe even worked and made money. But this time I actually had to study and go and sit the exams again. So that's why it's important to be disciplined, especially in the moments where you do not want to do that thing, but you know it's going to benefit the tomorrow you.
Yeah. In the long run, it's going to be
I was going to say, like, it's easy when you're comfortable.
100%. I don't even think I would necessarily describe it as discipline when you're in comfortable situations.
Yeah, you have to be uncomfortable.
But I feel like it has to be the situations where you don't want to do it or you are uncomfortable, like you said, that it's actually something you describe as discipline. So it's going against what you currently want to do or what you feel like is going to make you happy, or not being self-serving, basically, is how we define discipline. I don't know what the actual official definition is.
Literally what I'm searching up.
But gosh, you're in my brain. But I feel like it's those situations that you can really describe yourself as a disciplined person. I was even trying to think back to my earliest like situation or my earliest memory rather. And thanks to my mum, like you were saying, your mum used to instill certain the definition.
I love this definition. Okay. You finish and then I'll say the definition after.
Yeah, no, like thanks to my mum, I had an extremely...
You guys were regimental.
It was regimented. Yeah. But
I love that though. I think in your childhood it should be.
Down to what we would eat for dinner, week by week. We had a menu that used to be on the fridge.
It's like those menus that change every week.
Yeah, my mum used to switch it up.
I love that.
Down to the menus that we'd have, what we'd eat for dinner during the week, down to what like extracurricular activities I was doing. I used to have like a calendar in my room that would tell me on a Monday I've got dance, on a Wednesday I've got chess, on a Saturday morning I've got swimming.
Guys, she used to play chess. Like
I still do. Guys, I used to compete. When you said you were a nerd, I was also a nerd. I used to love it. Fridays we would go to the library after school. Like my mum made sure that week by week.
Oh my gosh, I used to go library as well.
Right, those library cards. Damn. We're losing recipes. I feel like we need to bring that back.
My mum used to take Darren to the library. Yeah. He would come home with like 10 books,
so many, and then you go back
and he would read all of them.
Excited to read those types of things. For me, I feel like.
Even me, I used to love reading.
A solid routine.
A nice book, a solid book.
That's why I wear glasses.
It just transports you.
That's literally why I wear glasses now.
Darren also wears glasses.
I used to read in the dark. My mum used to say, okay, time for us to go to bed now. I was opening the book and be trying to read it and straining my eyes.
I love sleep, so I was never reading in the dark.
But I literally used to not be able to read in the dark as well. Like, honestly. So yeah, I feel like thanks to my mum, having a routine, even when I was in primary school, I feel like really has helped, especially when I went to secondary school, because I went to school quite far away from home. My journey to school was 2 hours and my journey back was 2 hours. Like they would put me on the bus at 6:30 in the morning every single day for 5 years. And without that routine being like instilled from when I was much younger, I absolutely would have not been able to do it. It would have been crazy, but it was almost like second nature. Getting up in the morning, and obviously in the mornings, like I'd still have to wake up earlier because I'd have to practice my piano,
you used to play double bass as well.
Yeah, like I used to have to practice my instruments. Then I would get on the bus at 6:30. Then I would go to school, come back from school, then do homework, then do like it was really like when you say regimented, you're so right. But it was like,
but it's good though because it teaches you for your future. Like
the future me can get herself into a routine
if you really need to, you know you can do it. Like
it's second nature.
I know. Now. I'm not operating at my 100% because the discipline is not there yet.
And
but when I do get there, y'all watch out for me.
No, literally. Watch your backs.
So the meaning for discipline. So the first meaning, or the first meaning, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Obviously, we're too old for that.
Punishment to correct can just be like facing consequences once not followed. I think we can replace that.
And then this is the meaning that I really love. It's to train oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way.
Oh, word. I like that. Let's disregard the first one for now and really
just because that's the first meaning. So that's the meaning you'll see as soon as you search discipline. But you know how it gives you like different meanings, how it can mean whatever it means in different contexts.
Yep.
So I really enjoy that last meaning.
I feel like we are talking
and that's
about
actually
that
the final.
That's
the final meaning example for discipline.
To train oneself in a controlled
in a habitual way. So that means it's your lifestyle, habitual.
Yeah.
It means you've made it your lifestyle. And
and I feel like that's why discipline is a journey, because it's like
it is a journey.
For something to be a habit, you can easily fall out of habits. I feel like it has to be that continual practice of trying and not being like down when you get into these, like we're not necessarily working at 100% right now, but there is a willingness and an intent to correct that and to get there. So like I feel like there's absolutely nothing wrong with not being all the way there now when it comes to that, but trying to and wanting to is the first step, and then beginning to implement the little and often is what's going to get you to a stage where you're on 100, you're working at 100%.
I feel like as well, because I was saying obviously everything feeds from discipline, but when I think about it, for me, a character trait that I really would love to become like a big part of my character is integrity. I feel like it is anyway now. Yeah. But just being able to say that this is what I want to do today and that's what I'm going to get done, not I wasn't feeling like I didn't get to placement on time because I went back to sleep. Like that's so insane to me. When I say it out loud now, I'm just like, damn it, like can't be for real.
That's exactly why I wanted us to say it out loud, like what we did, so that at least we can hear it and be like, nah, this ain't it. Because next week, no, I know we know it. But I do feel like,
but saying it. That's why it says like to confess, like say it out loud. Because when you say it out loud, there's a conviction that comes with saying it out loud. You should
feel shy.
You look at yourself feel shy. Like, damn,
I feel shy.
I feel ashamed.
Yeah.
But when you really like wholeheartedly believe in integrity, I think it makes it like easier for you to understand why you need to be disciplined, because you can't be saying these things and not standing on your word. It don't make no sense. You look crazy. Yeah. Because you were saying you were going to do this and you still haven't done it. of course, naturally life happens and there's some things that you say you want to do and it never comes to pass. But
I feel like it's integrity to one's
self. Yeah. You have to.
It's integrity to yourself, because I
You owe
wouldn't say
yourself
that you're
that.
not somebody that has integrity.
That doesn't have integrity.
You are somebody that I feel like if you say you're going to do something, you are more than likely going to do it. I don't feel like the type of person that doesn't stand on their word, but it's having that integrity.
That's
to
what I was trying to say, guys.
To yourself.
Yeah.
I think, and that's
being
absolutely
integral to yourself. It's
something
important.
that I can definitely also work on. I think getting back to operating at 100%.
Because like even what we were talking about in the first episode, what I was talking about in the sense of being someone who thinks about the future often. Like I think about it often, but am I necessarily making the steps to make that future how I want it to be? I mean, the only way the future is going to look how I want it to be is if I'm disciplined right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yeah, guys, I do this to myself. It's really bad, but it kind of gives me a kick up the bum. I sit there and I think, like, if I continue acting how I'm acting today, like, so you know that day that I overslept. If I did that every day of my life, what would my life look like? Sometimes I sit there and I think about it.
That should be triggering.
And then the next day I'm just like, okay, cool, no. You need to get to work.
That would be triggering enough. Yeah.
That scares me. That actually scares me. Like being late to everything, not respecting people's time, like it feeds into so many other things that can really derail you.
Absolutely.
When it comes to your future.
Absolutely.
So you actually have to get on all the small things you can do now. If that means saving like £10 a week, saving £20 a week, if you can do it now,
10 minutes earlier,
or going to bed at 11 p.m,
sure
going to bed, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like
doing all those things and making sure you refine and make everything like airtight.
Yeah.
Like this isn't something everyone knows that when they see you, they know that you're going to bed at 11:30, unless you have an engagement which keeps you out later, or everyone knows that you're able to, okay, maybe not save, but I don't know, what's another example?
That's an example. I feel like
because that might be a bit more personal. Like you don't tell people how much you're saving.
Oh, you mean week. So when people look at you, they can see that you're somebody that's disciplined. I feel like, okay, you know that you're trying to get on your health game, and it's like you're only drinking water. You go out with people, they know Corey's on water. She's not going to drink, or
stuff like that, guys. When you're able to get those little things, it may seem little, but the way it's going to like change your trajectory. Because you can implement it in every other area of your life.
It's the little and often, I think, is so important. Don't feel like it has to be. We're using the word discipline and it's mad. Like I feel like discipline is such a big word, and words like integrity, like they seem so far off, but the steps to get there are so little and incremental, and it's something that you can do very, very often. Like you said, just picking up a bottle of water instead of a can of Coke. Just not spend, like you see something, you save it, you don't spend on it right away. If you know that you've got to be somewhere for a particular time, making sure you look at your route the night before, packing your bag before, earlier. Get into sleep earlier, leaving just before that time that you checked the night before. All of those little things are going to help you to develop discipline. It's something that you develop. It's not something that you just are and wake up and be. It's something that you, like you said, you have to train, you have to be that person. You have to habitually choose to be doing those things, and I think like it is defo like something that we all could do a little bit better. Even if you do consider yourself somebody that has like an airtight routine, let it be airtighter.
Let it be tighter.
Let it be airtighter. So I feel like that's all I kind of had to say. I don't think I had anything else to say. I feel like what you've said has wrapped it up so nicely. What can we do in our day-to-days to make sure that we are getting towards being 100% or being disciplined,
but being intentional about living. I feel like you get to a certain point, for me anyway, you get to a certain point and you're just like, okay, cool, like I need to start being a bit more serious. And with that comes that feeling of, okay, I need to be a bit more disciplined. I need to actually start sticking to what I'm saying I'm going to do. I can't just be the girl that talks and never has any results to show for it. You need to be fruitful. Yeah. And if you want to be fruitful, you have to work.
You got to plant the seeds first if you want to, you got to reap in what you basically have sown. If you want to be fruitful. So you got to sow those seeds now.
And you've got to grow them.
Or more life.
These are the revelations we come to, guys.
This is literally it. Like, this has been on my brain since we spoke about this, because like I said, you guys are not necessarily going to see the episode, but we had a conversation basically about self-love and what it looks like in our day-to-days. And I feel like following that conversation, my mentality wasn't, I don't feel like I was in the right place. And I don't feel like what I shared is honest.
A real reflection
of what self-love is. It's more so something that means I've been acting on impulse or have been behaving in a way that is a little bit indisciplined. To tell y'all the truth. But I feel like, that's all I kind of had to say. I feel like we've actually come to a really nice conclusion there. So I guess this is the time where we thank you for listening. Like,
I think you had one more question.
Did I?
What area of life?
Okay, let's wrap up on that. What area of life do we feel like we most want to work on? Why should I go first? You people know me. I can spend money. I can. I feel like for me, it's financial discipline. I also feel like a close second is health. And third of actually let these all be parallel. You know when there's the podium is level, so it's not first, second and third, they're all level.
All joint first,
financial, health and spiritual discipline for me. I feel like are the three that I really want to work on. I've got a couple months left of this year, so I need to make something shake. I do feel like those are the three things that I'm really trying to work on. What about you?
I think the top one for me is spiritual.
Okay.
Just because I feel like once you have that unlock,
I feel like
it will encourage you to do everything else. Financially, I wouldn't say I'm crazy financially. I do love spending a good amount myself, but I think I can tame it when I need to really tame it. So financially I would say it's third, and then second is health. I think that's my top one. I think I just even like kind of miss being as healthy as I used to be.
Being fit. Yeah, fair.
Just being really fit as someone who was really athletic when they were younger. So it's spiritually,
health,
fitness, and then finances. And
I mean, mine are the same. So there you go. And hold us accountable. Don't do too much though. Like, take it easy. But hold us accountable, because we will be holding each other accountable, and we'll probably circle back on this at some point.
We will 100% be circling back. And that's why I love the fact that we've even done it in this period, because it's like we're still kind of babies in this game, I'll be honest.
Absolutely.
We're actually still very young. We're both 24. So it would be nice to like look back. Okay, 25 within the month.
Yeah.
Or a month and a half. It will be nice to like look back in a year's time and actually see what we've been able to achieve.
We can do a little audit in about 6 months.
We'll see how that goes.
Self-audit, and see where we're at. I feel like, we've got stuff to do. We've got stuff that we need to work on. I feel like you guys probably also have stuff that you need to work on. Hopefully this has triggered you or been thought-provoking at least. And we hope that you've enjoyed listening to us talk and speak our minds. We will be back at some point soon. Let's just hope that it doesn't take us another 2 or 3 recording episodes. Guys, we're getting used to this, and I hope that you guys are patient with us on this journey. We are learning as you guys are being patient with us. So thank you so much. We will see you guys soon. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, like and rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those different things that you guys used to listen. Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts. When I was setting up the thing, I thought, damn.
RSS, that'd be CSS.
RSS. There's also
I didn't even know
Podmania,
platforms
Podmaniac.
existed.
I said, this podcast have gone far. It's gone far. But nonetheless, wherever you are listening or watching, thank you so much. We will see you guys very, very shortly.
What's the at on these pages?
Oh my God. No plug. I'm sick.
Podcaster.
I'm learning, like I said, guys, bear with us. So we are Sistership Pod on everything: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Like, we literally just type in Sistership Pod. We should come up. We've been working on our SEO, so if it doesn't come up, there's a problem, and report it to our email, which you will find on our social media. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.